The most important thing happening in my life was happening without me knowing. Josh crashed into my life literally, with a hockey puck to my face freshman year. One black eye and 1,000 apologies later, we were inseparable. Not in that sappy romantic way, but in the way where you find someone who just gets you, and suddenly college doesn't feel so overwhelming anymore. By sophomore year, people started making comments. First it was subtle, like the Starbucks barista asking if we wanted our drinks on one receipt. Then it got weird. His hockey teammates would holler, "There goes the wife," whenever I showed up to games. Professors stopped asking if we wanted to partner up for projects, just automatically putting us together with these little smiles. The thing is, Josh never acted like we were dating. Sure, we spent every Friday watching anime with some pad thai, and he picked me up from every class, but that's what close friends do. There was no hand-holding, no kissing, no baby or sweetheart, just two people who happened to be attached at the hip. Junior year is when I should have noticed something was off, but I was too deep in my own oblivious bubble to see it. It started with Josh's mom calling me out of the blue one Sunday. Not him, me directly. She wanted to know what I was planning to do after graduation, if I saw myself staying in the city, whether I wanted kids someday. The questions felt loaded, but I brushed it off as her being protective. I'd never seen Josh with a girl in all our years of friendship, so it made sense she'd be curious about the one female constantly in his life. Honestly, I thought it was cute how involved she was, calling every week to check in on both of us. The weirdest moment was when Josh's hockey coach called me during class. I answered thinking something was wrong, and he goes, "Where's Josh? He's not at practice." I told him I had no idea. I was in economics class. "Well, can you tell your boyfriend to get his ass to the rink?" When I tried explaining we weren't together, he just laughed like I'd told him the sky was green. Turns out I was listed as Josh's emergency contact, and the coach genuinely thought calling me would solve any Josh-related problem. Then when I got a terrible flu in November, Josh went into full caretaker mode. He missed 3 days of his own classes, showed up with soup, medicine, and every streaming password he could borrow. He literally camped out in my room, checking my temperature every few hours like some kind of worried mother hen. I remember mumbling through my fever, "You're the best. I owe you for this." He just squeezed my hand and said, "You don't owe me anything." Everything felt so normal, so comfortable, that I never stopped to wonder why Josh never dated anyone, never realizing that should have been my first red flag, because the truth hit me like that hockey puck all over again 3 weeks ago. We were having our regular Friday night, chilling in my room watching Demon Hunters, when Josh shifted to face me. The way he said baby should have been my first heart attack, but then he followed it with, "Where do you want to go for our anniversary dinner?" And my brain completely shut down. I froze. Baby? Anniversary? Before I could speak, he kissed me. Not a friendly peck, but a real kiss. Then he said, "Can't believe it's been a whole year. I'm thinking that Italian place you love." Before I could even speak, his mom called asking if he was still with his girlfriend while on speakerphone. He said yes while pulling me closer like this was totally normal. After he left to help her with something urgent, I went into detective mode. I scrolled through our texts and my heart dropped. Those hearts he'd been sending for months suddenly didn't look so friendly anymore. Every time someone called us a couple and he didn't correct them. Every time he introduced me as his Vatina instead of just Vatina. Every time he'd smile when people assumed we were together. All those moments I'd brushed off suddenly looked completely different. I called my friend Sarah, practically hyperventilating, and she just started laughing. "Girl, what? It was never rumors. We all literally thought you were in a relationship. Josh told everyone you guys got together last March. I had no idea you were this naive, holy shit." When Josh returned 2 hours later, I tried to handle it gently, explained there'd been a massive misunderstanding, that while I cared about him deeply as my best friend, we'd never actually had a conversation about dating. The transformation was instant. "Are you kidding me right now?" His whole face changed, like someone had ripped a mask off. "After a year? Josh, you literally never asked me," I said softly, trying to calm him down. He started pacing, voice getting louder. "Asked you? Everyone knows we're together. My mom, my team, everyone. What was I supposed to ask when you were already acting like my girlfriend?" This sweet guy who brought treats for my cat was suddenly screaming that I was just like all women, that I'd been playing games, and he'd done everything right, so I owed him. He kept ranting about how I'd used him, manipulated him, wasted his time. The person in my room wasn't my best friend anymore. He was a stranger wearing Josh's face, listing every single thing he'd ever done for me like he'd been keeping score. So yeah, the rumor was true. I really had been dating Josh for an entire year. Found out I had a boyfriend and dumped him on the same day, making it officially the most toxic relationship of my life, and I wasn't even there for most of it.